Hey guys, so this is my printer. Just had a few updates since you last saw it, and yeah, I enjoy these updates because the quality of my prints now is outstanding. Let me show you. For example, this here, it's perfectly sharp, it's flush, it's not a dual print, it's not a dual colour print. These letters are separate and the pressure fit. There's no glue in there, no nothing, they just push in. That's how accurate I can get my prints to be now. Same with this little YouTube one here. Nice and accurate. Same with this one. So much accurate that it's just, like I say, it's a pressure fit. It's nice, it's smooth, everything's perfect on them now. And I'm happy with the way my printer works. Now, I want to help you get to that stage, because you're going to buy this printer off eBay, you're going to be full of over the moon with joy, you've got a brand new 3D printer, it's going to be ace, you're going to set it up, you're going to be fuming because it's taking you so long to build the bloody thing, and you're going to do your first print ever and it's going to look like crap. And the reason why is this little bad boy. It's the extruder that comes with these printers, and yeah, it's rubbish. There's no adjustability with them. That's one of the main issues with these. There's absolutely no adjustability. It relies on the gear inside connecting with the little pulley, and for the most part it works, but getting the filament in and out can be a nightmare. And because there's no adjustability, sometimes you'll get a filament, because let me put it this way, even though it says 1.75mm filament, it doesn't mean it's always going to be 1.75. You might get some that's only 1.5, and that, you know, 0.25 of a millimeter difference is enough to cause a problem with the extruder on this, because there's no tension. So that went, and first thing I bought, literally within 2 days of this, getting this printer, the first thing I did was go on eBay and I bought myself a Mark 8 extruder. Now, on this Mark 8, I had to chop off the little arm here, just so it all fits. That was mainly my fault because I didn't check it. I went for the, I think it was the left hand side one, I should have gone for the right, but yeah, I just cut off the arm, who cares. So this works now perfectly, it puts tension on my filament, and this, beautiful. Now, these parts that are in the list below, or the G code, because if you get the G code, you've just got to print them out in stages. They're all there anyway. It should be for this printer, this particular printer, which is a Prusa i3 Pro B. Now there's different names for it, but it's all basically the same printer. It's an eBay special, and the bed on it is like 210 by 180. So bear that in mind. Now the parts that you're going to print off first are these anti-wobble Z-hickey thingies. Basically all it does is it disconnects this threaded rod from the actual gantry. Now what you're going to find is on yours you're going to have like a brass fitting in here with 4 screws which holds this threaded rod. Now the problem with that is these threaded rods are not exactly straight, and even the fact that they could be straight, it doesn't mean anything, because the threaded rods have imperfections. See there, like a little nick? It only takes a tiny little imperfection on these threaded rods to cause you issues, and you will get issues, I guarantee it. I've had so many people on eBay, because I left feedback, and so many people have come to me and asking me, what do I do with this? It's not working right. So yeah, these are a must. The first 3 parts you're going to print is this, these plates, and these ends. Now you don't need the ends, but I just think they look nice and look cool. Yeah, cool. Even if you wanted to, you could even make a Pikachu one and put that on for yourself, but whatever. So, there's 2 different styles of this. Now, I have changed it to a degree, because on this one here, I'm gonna actually upload a third one, which will be this version where it's capped. But there is one with just a hole straight through. With that, I recommend though that you tighten down these rings here properly. If you don't want to tighten down these rings for the pressure and everything, then you can get away with the one with the hole through it. But yeah, I don't have an Allen key small enough, so I made it so it pushes down on it. Besides that, the 2 versions that you're going to get is this one here that is clean, and this one here that is got holes in it that are tapped to the same size as tripod screw mounts. So if you wanted to, you could put a camera on there and record. just that was my thinking of it anyway. This thing here is going to be one of the last things you print, but you know, that's a tripod thread, just screws in to the base, and then the filter just, as I said, pops on like so. So that's that. So you're going to be printing these three things first. Now, the last things you're going to be printing is this and this whole unit down here, but the reason for that is for quality. Now understand that, as I said, when you first get your printer, the quality of your prints are going to be absolutely shocking. Unfortunately, until these have been sorted out, and these here, so obviously the rod's free to move, until all that's done, the quality is going to be crap. Once that's done, the quality will improve, but it's not going to improve a massive amount. Just so you understand. The second set of things that you're going to be printing is two things. Now you can print these two the first two G codes, 1 and 2, you can print them off straight away and fit them straight away. The third one, you're going to need a fan, but I'll get into that. So the second ones that you're going to be printing is this piece here, which is a strange looking piece. All it does is it lifts the wires from the back. You might have actually threaded the wires through here or something. I don't know. It's just, if you've done it the same way I've done it, you're going to need that just to make sure that the wires are above the back piece of the frame, because if they're not, then you end up getting bundled and the actual bed won't go all the way back and it'll start grinding and it's all, yeah, a nightmare. So yeah, you'll need them. The second thing in this particular section of printing is the braces. Now the reason for the braces, which are down here, is very simple. The way that these are designed, there's a hell of a lot of slop, sideways movement in this particular bed. Now I designed it because of my dog, mainly because give me a second, sorry about that, my dog went mental. So as I was saying, the reason for these brace things here is basically because of the amount of slop that you'll get in the actual bed, which is a problem. Now I did this because my dog, again, I was doing like a 5-hour print. I went 4.5 hours in, nearly done, and the dog came up and knocked the table, and the whole entire bed shifted. So I got a massive layer shift, and it was, yeah, it just drove me insane. So I decided, bugger it, I'm going to sort this out. These pieces basically just pressure fit in. Now they do have holes in them, so if you want to go that extra length, you can drill some holes into the wood and put some screws in. Me, I don't need to. The pressure fit is enough to hold them in place, and there's absolutely zero slop in this anymore. The fourth pieces that you're going to be printing, now they were just mainly for the quality improvements. The fourth pieces, like I say, you're going to need this fan. Now the fourth pieces is this. It's the actual fan housing and the fan holder. Now I use a little 50mm fan. I don't know what they actually call them. It's a fan, and it's not a very good fan, unfortunately. I bought quite a cheap, tacky, crap thing. I recommend you go and just spend a little bit more money and get a decent one, because this one's got about as much puff as a freaking mouse. But it helps a lot, because unfortunately the way 3D printers work, if you don't already know this, which you should, is it basically, you know, it goes around, layers down the plastic, moves up and does the same. But unfortunately, if that particular layer that you've just done is still warm, it's still soft, so the next layer going on top can make it basically deform. The reason for having basically a fan here is just to cool that layer that you've just put down to a decent amount of temperature where it's, you know, it's fairly solid again, because it kind of, only way I can describe it is, because I'm struggling with this already, it's like the third video I've done so far. Only way I can describe it is it basically, because it's solid, it makes it solid again. The heat transferring from the nozzle to the part underneath is not as dense, it's not as hot. I don't know why I said dense. It's not as hot as it would be without this fan, meaning that the likelihood of the nozzle deforming the part is lowered, which is a good thing. So these are all the parts that you're going to be printing. Your printer will look something like this. Oh, not to forget the filament filter. You don't have to print it, but I recommend it because it does cut down on nozzle clogs. Yeah, as I say, this is what your printer's going to be looking like once it's done. And it's a lot of multicolours on mine, but I kind of like it that way. It's got a bit of charm. Now, I hope this helps you out. I hope it does improve your prints. My prints have gone from looking crap to basically making these high-end £1,000 units look poor quality. You know what I mean? It's got to a point now where I wouldn't go out and buy myself something like a maker bot, because there's no point. I think it's maker bot, whatever they call it these days. I wouldn't go out and buy one because this does it perfectly. I know there's no need for me to change it. Now, what I'm going to tell you now is I have got something coming up that's going to be changing this a little bit. I say a little bit, not by much. It's going to be changing this here. I'm not going to go into detail, but it's something that I've wanted and I can't find anywhere. It's like nobody seems to have done it. So keep your eyes peeled on my Thingiverse channel for that. That will pop up eventually when I've figured it all out, because it's moment time. I'm still scratching my head, making mock-ups, finding the issues and all that. So yeah, this is all the parts that you'll need to make good quality, if not perfect quality prints. I hope this helps you. I hope these parts help you. And as I say, just do them in sections. The third section, the third G-code that's in there now, you don't really need to use until you've done the other two and you've bought the parts. Before I go, my heated bed doesn't work, which for me in the UK isn't a problem, because my room's constantly like 40 degrees anyway. For printing PLA and printing like flexible filaments and stuff like that, 40 degrees is fine. And I don't like ABS because it stinks, so for me it's not too much of a problem. What I do suggest though is don't use tape. I used to use tape a lot. It's a pain in the ass to use. It's just bin it. The only reason I've got it on is so I know that when I'm cleaning my bed, this is the way that I've got to put it back, because I can see the lines. All I use these days is glue. Cheap glue. Not the prick sticks you buy, you know. Not... excuse me. Not these ones. They don't work. Cheap ones. Like, super cheap. They're like 50 pence a goddamn tube. But this stuff sticks any print, and I mean any print. I made a vase the other day, which was quite a tall print, and it stuck so much I ended up putting my finger through the goddamn filament on the vase. That's not a quality problem, that was a design problem by yours truly, because I made the overhangs a bit too much. When you use vase mode, it only does one perimeter, and unfortunately it just got a little bit thin on the top of the curve. My fault, oh well. But yeah, as I said, it stuck that well. I had to take this whole entire plate off and put it in the sink with the hot water, because it just would not remove. But for small parts and that, it sticks no problems. So yeah, use glue. Anyway, long enough video, and I shall see you in a bit. Doodles!